Hello and welcome to the sixth episode of The Probe. This is Sir CJ, and in this episode, we are going to practice the following objectives. The first one is that by the end of this session, you should be able to give two purposes of the body of a news story. You should also be able to give the three most common types of straight news stories, enumerate as many transitional words as possible, and phrases that may help smoothen the continuity of a news story, and you should be able to write good news stories. And so this episode is entitled "The Body of the News Story," and we feature what are the different parts of the news story, and we are going to clarify ano yung mga ilalagay natin dun sa body part. Generally, we believe around newsrooms na once you have a very good lead, the rest of the story will just sort of like tell itself, diba? So while there is so much soundness in the idea na a good lead will just enable the news story to just tell itself, while that is a really good concept, it is often easier said than done. Okay, so again, our focus now is we will be presenting here different ways of constructing the body of the news story. So one thing we need to remember is that the body of the news story should emerge from the lead. And we have discussed several types of leads in the previous episode. And I hope that you have mastered and practiced writing all of them. So we have to, it has to emerge from that. The body of the news story must emerge from that lead. And the dominant point made in the opening paragraph, or dun nga sa lead, must be fully borne out and developed in the sentences na magpo-follow in the body. Okay, so if you're satisfied with the first paragraph or with your lead, kailangan mo yan gawin is you have to arrange the rest of your material na related dun sa story. Kung halimbawa, sinimulan mo yung iyong news story with a summary lead para makapagbigay ka ng nutshell, ng abridged version or summary ng buong story. Then in the body of the news story, kailangan mo lang isabihin ulit yung story with sufficient detail. Tapos bigyan mo siya ng mas maraming pang facts and yung mga incidents pa, yung mga ibang incidents na connected din doon. And you have to arrange them in two ways. So as we've mentioned before, you can arrange them in their order of decreasing importance or in chronological sequence, or yun nga yung pagkasunod-sunod in terms of time, chronological. And if you organize your material in this way, it will make sense, okay? Kasi kung yung reader mag-i-stop na siya na magbasa at any given point, at least kung organize mo yung body in yun nga, order of decreasing importance or in chronological order, yun nga, wala siyang mamimiss na masyadong importante. Nothing will be omitted dun sa dapat niya talagang malaman. Ayun. So remember that when you are arranging the facts, when you are arranging the different details pa in the body of the news story, you have to remember to arrange them in order of decreasing importance or in chronological order. Ayan. So we also mentioned in the previous episodes that the body of the news story explains and elaborates the feature or the features presented in the lead. Or it also can add or amplify some minor features na hindi gaanong naibigay or nabigyan ng clarification dun sa lead. Ayun. So we also showed the inverted pyramid model or structure ng isang news story. So ayun nga, dapat mag-start siya sa lead, tapos you should be able to amplify the lead in greater details with the succeeding sentences or succeeding paragraphs. The lead must be elaborated in the body, and if the makeup man, yung page designer, would have to cut the story, kailangan niya mag-start from the bottom up. So, ganun siya mag-i-start. Hindi siya mag-cut from the top down. Okay, hindi ganun. Bottom up lagi. And so, ganyan yung basic structure niya. Okay, so tingnan mo na lang siya. Tapos, you will see Ganyan yung basic structure niya. However, may mga modifications tayo para sa sang straight news story. Pwede natin actually medyo i-alter yan ng konti. Okay, so a straight news story can be actually a fact story. And if that is so, the first paragraph, must be comprised of the lead telling us the summary of the entire news story. If the news story is comprised of several facts, we have to state the first fact in this paragraph, and then you have to just state facts 2 and 3, or the second fact. Ganon, you can just state it in the second paragraph, and then fact number 4 in the third paragraph, and then fact number 5 in the next paragraph, and then this just goes on. Okay, until the last paragraph na pwede na talaga i-cut ni page designer. Also, you see that hindi naman siya, this rectangle right here is not as big as this one. It's because facts 2 and 3 are more important compared to 4, and then fact 4 is more important than 5. That if the page designer has to cut, ang talagang una makakat dyan is yung fact number 5. Ayan. So, use this use this format for a straight news if the straight news is comprised of several facts, and that you can make a fact story out of it. Ayan. The next type of straight news story is the action story, in which the first paragraph, your lead, describes the main incident. And then in the succeeding paragraph, you just have to retell the incident but provide more details. And then retell it again and provide more details. But this time, these details are less important compared doon sa mga naunang details. Or these details they happen in a later time compared to the first details. Ayan. So if this is an action story that you would like to say, usually parang mga tawag doon, mga basketball games, mga sports related yung pwede mong ilagay sa action story, because you just mainly say yung main incident, that natalo ni team A sa team B, and then you're just going to retell the story with more details. Like in the second paragraph, you're just going to again say that natalo nga ni team A sa team B, but this time you're going to show more details. And then for the next one, you're going to show more details, like what were the players saying in the interview, paano sila nanalo, ano yung motivation nila, which are actually quite usually they are just less important details na pwede nang i-omit, pero they're still talking about the main incident, which is the winning of team A against team B. Ayan. And then for the next one, the next and last type of a straight news story is a quote story. So for the quote story, the first paragraph is the lead, where the dominant points are made, and then you just have to make a transition. So this transition is going to connect the lead, the dominant points, with a quote, okay, from the story or from any participant in the story. This is this is requiring a very careful operation with quotes. Okay, kailangan alam mo kung paano gumamit ng quotes at alam mo kailan mo siya isasingit. And then you just have to make another transition towards another quote. Ayun. So this is the third and last type of a straight news story which we have to remember. And so as you can see, meron siyang order, meron siyang logic, no? And every story draws from the reporter at his keyboard a number of decisions na kailangan niyang gawin ng mabilisan. So yeah, kung kailangan mong i-follow ang ganitong klaseng format, you have to be very quick when it comes to the decisions you make about your story. And in writing your story, kailangan you constantly think not only of the facts and their relative values, pero kailangan iniisip mo rin yung finished product's sustained interest at saka yung smoothness na magiging output mo. Now, as for the ending, unless na meron kang sinusulat na feature news story, kung saan yung denouement or yung climax will just come at the end of the story, hindi mo naman kailangan ma-concern actually kung paano mo gagawin yung ending ng news story mo. Again, unless you are writing a news feature or a feature story, you don't have to worry yourself a lot about how will you come up with a very good ending for the story. Okay, kasi it may just end up in the galley tray for the lack of space. Pwede na siya actually, may possibility baka ikat lang siya. Pinakaganda mo pa man din yung ending, tas wala naman pa, di pa lang mapapublish, diba? But you have to give, okay, but what you need to do is you have to give a coherence, a smooth transition between the different sections, yan nga, ng yung action story, fact story, straight news story, or ng yung quote story. You have to give it a very smooth transition. In between the paragraphs, you must use transitional devices, which are words or phrases that may be helpful in helping out for readers in understanding the chronology or the certain degree of importance na mayroon ang iba't ibang parts ng ang iyong news story. So among these transitional devices you can use are the following. Okay, so you can use then, meanwhile, at the same time, at least, all this time, next, and finally, which are showing us sequence, shortly, and then now, which implies like time, later, thereafter, soon, formerly, previously, thus, for example, or for instance. To illustrate, you can also use therefore to cause to state a conclusion. Therefore, on the other hand, to contradict something, but same nevertheless, despite, on the contrary, in spite of. Otherwise, which is also like implying contradiction, a subordination case, so it is used differently in a sentence. Despite, speaking of, regarding, with relation to, about, here at home, locally, which is implying something about origin, and then or proximity, not far away, and nearby. Yeah. So those are the transitional devices you can use, and these are just some. Actually, they're just some of the many connectives you can use to imply whatever it is that you would like to imply. Pero some may be able to imply some opinion. Okay, they may add some an ambience of opinion. Okay, to your news story, such as above all, accordingly, consequently, naturally, undoubtedly, probably, having this in view. So you can use them, pero you have to use them with extreme caution, because what you're writing right now is a news story. Okay, so that's what you're writing. You always have to remember that editorial is a different story, but it's connected. Ayan. Okay, so this is Sir CJ, and I hope that you learned something in this edition of the Probe. I hope that you also have been keeping up with the assessments that I am giving to you through Google Forms na pinaprovide ko in the link. In the description. So I am taking note of your performance, and I hope that you find these videos really helpful and really educational in your little journey towards becoming a very good campus journalist. And so I am hoping that you are having a good day, because I am having a very cute day. Right, so see you soon.